English nerds rejoice. You can finally put those degrees to use because I have 11 questions for you on Shakespeare. This is Trivia with Buds. What it be, and welcome to another episode of the Trivia with Buds podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Buds, and I spent the whole day with my family at the beach, Newport Beach, that is. So it was a fun Friday for me. But now it's time to record an episode on Shakespeare. That's right. If you're an English major, an English minor, or you just like reading old plays, this episode is for you. As always, I have a bunch of pop culture peppered in, so it's not just strictly book smarts, but maybe some movie stuff, maybe some song stuff, maybe some stuff about Shakespeare's furniture. How well do you know all of it? We're going to find out today on this episode. If you like trivia, you should hit subscribe on your device to get new episodes sent to your device every single day. We're coming up on the 1-year anniversary of doing the show daily, 365 episodes in a row, so get ready for that. We also have a ton of other episodes in the feed. In the old format, which was me sitting down with two friends of mine, and they would face off in different battles on topics they were into, like Game of Thrones and Parks and Rec, or HBO shows and NBC shows. I know those two examples were very similar, but that's what popped in my head. And we talk about why they were into those things, and the episodes are very lengthy. So they're closer to an hour, sometimes over an hour. And if you're looking for more of a conversational podcast, go back to the very beginning of this show. My friend Marissa pointed out that the episodes only go back about 100 episodes, I think, on the podcast Apple iTunes app. So if you're looking for older episodes, just search Trivia with Buds, Libsyn, Libsyn, and you can see the entire archive of every episode I've ever posted of the show. People ask me all the time, what I use as who I use as a host for podcasts, and that is Libsyn. So if you have any questions about that, or how to get set up on Libsyn, or how to get your show on iTunes, etc., you can Google that stuff super easily like I did to figure it out. But if you need my help in any way, just let me know. Drop me a line, ryanbuds@gmail.com. My friend Lewis Ryan just reached out to me, a comedian friend from Chicago, and said, hey, what do you use? And I told him about Libsyn, and he said, thanks for the rec. And hopefully he's got a cool podcast coming out soon. He's a very funny dude, and I can't wait to hear what it's about. Guys, if you have a topic you want me to do on this show, you can shoot me a message on all social media at Ryan Buds on pretty much everything, or you can donate $5 or more over on patreon.com/trivia with buds to make sure I get to your topic in the near future. Here are some episodes that we'll be getting to very soon. We have an episode for Alexis Eck on Greek and Roman mythology. Got to figure out what the difference between those two things is. She wants to do Brooklyn Nine-Nine. She says, have I said that yet? I don't think she has. Somebody says, one-sentence movie descriptions. That's kind of fun. So it'd be like, guy on a bench, talks a lot. Forrest Gump, maybe something like that. And that would be for Brenda Martinez. She also wants some Harry Potter trivia, which I will work in from our live trivia Harry Potter show that we did just a few weeks ago. Let's see. Dan Papello wants Australian actors in Hollywood and dog breeds for 2 topics. My friend Doug French wants 80s TV shows, stuff like Miami Vice and Webster might be coming his way. And Jen Wojnar says, the Starbucks mermaid. How am I supposed to... Oh, the Starbucks menu. I was going to say, how am I supposed to do a whole episode on just the mermaid? But it is the word menu, not mermaid. That's actually a great topic. That should be fun. And Umbrella Academy, Flight of the Conchords, Barry, the TV show, What We Do in the Shadows, modern day slang. What would that be, like douchebag? What's modern day slang? Like, hey, what's up, jagoff? That's like Chicago slang, I guess. But modern day nonetheless, right? Okay, so those are some topics we're going to get to. It's going to be great, and you're going to love those shows. Again, if you want to be a part of all this, go to patreon.com/trivia with buds and see all the cool stuff you can get for being a fan and a supporter of the show. And I haven't done this in a while. I'm going to do a quick shout out to every single Patreon subscriber I have. Let's give it up for these following people: Manny Majarian, Alexis Eck, Alex DeSmet, Sarah McKevitz, Simon Time, Jess Whitener, Jen Wojnar, Kyle Bonin, Douglas French, Erica Cooper, Fiona Neville, Brenda Martinez, Dan Papello, Russ Friedewald, Luke McKay, Wreck My Podcast, Greg Hines, Mo Martinez, Lauren Ward, Sarah Kay, Jim Fields, Mona Bray, Sweet Abby Cakes, Denise Leonard, Anna Evans, Megan Acuna, Katie Smith, Brian Salyer, Greg Bristow, and Casey Becker. Thank you guys and girls so much for your support, and I sincerely appreciate it. All right, guys, we're going to jump into this quick episode on Shakespeare, 11 questions that I'm going to read for you, and then we'll go over the answers directly after that and a sound effect. So sit tight and see how many of these Bill Shakespeare questions you can get right. Here we go. It's time for some Shakespeare trivia. And I know I could have started this by saying to be or not to be, but come on, that's a little hackneyed at this point, isn't it? Speaking of hackneys, man, that was a fun restaurant I used to do shows at on the south side of Chicago, and it just closed a couple months ago, I think in March. So quick, late RIP to Hackneys in Palos Hills, Illinois. Here we go with some Shakespeare trivia. Question 1, a popular actress's name in modern times. Who did Shakespeare marry when he was only 18? Question number 1, a popular actress's name in modern times. Who did Shakespeare marry when he was only 18? Question number 2, in what Shakespeare play would you find characters named Prospero and Caliban? Number 2, in what Shakespeare play would you find characters named Prospero and Caliban? Question number 3, true or false, the 1998 film Shakespeare in Love won the Oscar for Best Picture. Is that true or is that false? Did Shakespeare in Love win the Oscar for Best Picture? Question number 4, what is the last name of Juliet's family in Romeo and Juliet? Number 4, what is Juliet's last name in that play? Question number 5, Shakespeare's What You Will also had the title of what knight? Number 5, Shakespeare's What You Will also had the title of what knight? You're filling in that blank where the what would be what knight, number 5. Question number 6, what single piece of furniture did Shakespeare leave in his will for his wife? Number 6, what single piece of furniture did Shakespeare leave in his will for his wife? Question number 7, what play is the comedy film 10 Things I Hate About You based on? What is the basis for the comedy film 10 Things I Hate About You? Number 7. Question number 8, Shakespeare wrote 154 poems of 14 lines referred to as what? Number 8, Shakespeare wrote 154 poems of 14 lines referred to as what? Shakespeare. Number 9, Get Some Fancy Book Learnin' was an entire comic collection devoted to Shakespeare from what animated family's comic book series? Number 9, Get Some Fancy Book Learnin' was an entire comic collection devoted to Shakespeare from what animated family's comic book series? Number 9. 2 questions left. Here's number 10. What comedic actor plays Tybalt in 1996's Romeo and Juliet? Number 10, what comedic actor plays Tybalt in 1996's Romeo and Juliet? And your bonus question for 2 points, according to superscholar.org, which sounds like a pretty legit website, how many words did Shakespeare allegedly invent? The team closest without going over would get the 2 points if you were playing live trivia with me, but let's just kind of have you make a guess at home. How many words do you think Shakespeare invented? I'll give you the hint like I gave my live trivia nights. It is over 100,000 words. So it's that's your basis for a hint. It's over 100,000. How many do you think he invented? All right, guys, those are your questions for Shakespeare trivia. We'll be back in a second with a skull held up in the air, screaming the answers. All right, here we go with Shakespeare Answers for this quick trivia round on the literary legend. Question number 1. A popular actress's name in modern times. Who did Shakespeare marry when he was only 18? The answer was Anne Hathaway, like that actress from Ocean's 8. Anne Hathaway. Number 2, in what Shakespeare play would you find characters named Prospero and Caliban? That would be The Tempest. The Tempest. And if you ever get a chance to do some drugs and watch a weird old VHS, look for something called Prospero's Books. I had to watch that for extra credit with the wife in college for a professor we had at Western Illinois University named David Banish, and this was the strangest movie, and it was just bizarre. So look for this movie, Prospero's Books. It's like a rendition of The Tempest, I think. Number 3, true or false, the 1998 film Shakespeare in Love won the Oscar for Best Picture. That is true. That is a true fact. I've never seen it. Maybe I never will. Or will I? Will it go in my pile with cats? As things I never watch. Number 4, what is the last name of Juliet's family in Romeo and Juliet? That is Capulet. Capulet. And Montague is Romeo's last name. Number 5, Shakespeare's What You Will also had the title of Twelfth Night. Twelfth Night. That's a hard word to say sometimes. Twelfth. It's a real mouthful. Number 6, what single piece of furniture did Shakespeare leave in his will for his wife? A lot of people guess desk, writing desk, apothecary desk, but it was actually their bed. He said, you could have the bed. Like she, couldn't have it because he's dead. Who wants his bed? Come on. Number 7, what play is the comedy film 10 Things I Hate About You based on? The Taming of the Shrew. In this movie, Julia Childs. That's not right. Julia Stiles is a shrew, I guess. And she runs around and they try and catch her in some sort of shrew trap. Is that the plot of this movie? I do not know. No, I'm just kidding. I love this movie. Great movie, quality film. I've seen it numerous times. But hey, how about some sort of body swap movie where Julia Stiles and Julia Childs switch spots? They could call it Julia, and Julia, right? A triple Julia feature. Number 8, Shakespeare wrote 154 poems of 14 lines referred to as what? Sonnets. My mistress's eyes are nothing like the sun. That's one I always remember for some reason. And then I was watching Jeopardy one time and it popped up and I'm like, oh, I remember that. And now it's in my head forever. Number 9, Get Some Fancy Book Learnin' was an entire comic collection devoted to Shakespeare from The Simpsons, Bongo Comics, and The Simpsons. Number 10, what comedic actor plays Tybalt in the 1996 movie Romeo and Juliet? That would be John Leguizamo from other hit films like The Pest and The Babysitters. Number 10. And the bonus for 2 points, according to superscholar.org, how many words did Shakespeare allegedly invent? It was over 100,000. To be exact, 171,476 words. Holy cow. That's a lot of words. And come on, did he really do that? Who counted that up? Who did this survey? I need to find this person and see this research, because this sounds like some number I would just make up and enter onto Wikipedia. But who knows? 171,476 according to superscholar.org. Guys, that was today's episode, all about Shakespeare. Hopefully you learned something about Shakespeare's bed going to his wife, or that Julia Stiles is a shrew in a film. That was fun for me to read to you, and I hope it was fun for you to listen to and play along with. How do you consume this show? I'm always looking for feedback on if you listen to it daily, if you save up a bunch and listen to them like at the end of the week, on the weekend. If you listen to them when you're working out, walking the dog, doing a traffic thing, maybe you deliver stuff. Maybe you're a Lyft driver in between passengers. You pop on the podcast. I would like to know. Shoot me a message. Tell me how you listen and consume the podcast. Some couples say they listen on road trips. I think my friends, the Wanzers, maybe did that on their move from California to Wisconsin recently. Shout out to Kurt and Dana, who are now residents of the Cheese State. Go to New Glarus Brewing Company, the New Glarus Brewery. It is the best. And the wife took me there for a wedding present. It was tons of fun, and I love their beer. #spotted_cow. Guys, it is almost time to get out of here. But before we do, it's time for the question of the day, sponsored by Funky Monkey in San Dimas, California. Funky Monkey Designs does a huge variety of printing on different types of products, and they specialize in varsity jackets and embroidery, and they do it right in San Dimas, California, where Bill and Ted are from in the movie Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures. That's pretty sweet, right? Come on, check it out. Go to fmdesignsinc.com for all info on how to get your embroidery done right and safely and well. That's San Dimas, California's Funky Monkey Designs. The topic for the question of the day, of course, is Shakespeare. And your question is, the movie from 2006 starring Amanda Bynes called She's the Man is based on what Shakespearean story/play? She's the Man from 2006 with Amanda Bynes is based on what Shakespeare work? If you know the answer to that, email me, ryanbuds@gmail.com, or tweet me at ryanbuds, or Instagram at ryanbuds, or anywhere you can find me online, and let me know your answer to be in the running to get an awesome prize mailed to you, just like I'm sending out to lots of listeners who keep replying to these questions of the day. It'll be tons of fun, and I thank you for checking out Funky Monkey and for listening to this show. Guys, thanks so much for listening. Thanks for telling a friend, and we'll see you tomorrow for more trivia with Buds. Cheers.
Bye.